every day.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be good.
Let's get ready then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The team is specifically looking for a small box that is visible in an archival photograph of the U-745.
After the first divers, we hear that the visibility is not really good, so we're looking forward to shoot some really good video this time and get all the details, and finally we can be sure which boat it is. The 745, if we get good footage of the fixture at the back of the flag tower. We get the chance of showing it to the entire world. It's a big thing for us. This is a 15, 20 years dream come true, really. When you go towards a little bit further down from the tip of the stern, from the rudders, you can see the huge amounts of netting hanging down. And that is actually one complete pelagic trawl. That trawl is actually a very, very big net that a big trawler hauls behind itself. The net is actually so big that when it's open in the water, you can take a 4-story high apartment house and put it in the mouth. And all that netting is caught on the boat, and that is actually very dangerous. If you would chance to go under the boat, if you tried to come out into the top side of the boat, you would end up in the trawl. You think of yourself, I'm carrying all these tanks on my back, under my arm, the big camera with light sticking out of it. Nothing would be easier than get that tangled up in the trawl. You can actually see there are 2 dead seals in the netting. So, I mean, you got multitudes of tanks and valves, and you're a very clumsy thing under the water. There's nothing sleeker than a seal, and even they got caught in that. So you need to have the eyes on the back of your head. Approaching the conning tower, one of the problems is this resuspension of sediment, this milky mist, which could be just like a half a meter or several meters from the bottom. Here it's about 1.5 meters, and it's like the boat would be disappearing into mist. And the problem with this stuff is that it's very light, and it just reflects all the light back. It's really difficult for filming. When you go back towards the deck and look back down at the conning tower and the flag platform, it's right here that you can actually see the rectangular part, the box. This is what we came here for. That was like one of these big things you feel like, well, like yelling under the water, but you can't do that since you'll get water in your mouth. Okay. Tell you what, boys and girls, that was some dive. You don't get to do these every day. The old school is not completely over the hill yet. It's in the can, man.
It's in the can.
The visibility was quite good enough at the end of the conning tower. We actually could make the box.
Yes.
And it's a good thing the light was on the side, so there's a bit of a shadow. You can make it out.
Is the smoking gun. And man, I can tell you, I was so happy when I was looking through the viewfinder, shooting this footage, and I saw, okay, there it is. The same thing as on the photos.
Quite sure that now we have the identity and the mission is accomplished, and we have solved this puzzle that has been kind of circulating in the air for so many years. Overall, that was a success, and we were able to accomplish that what we were actually looking for. We have good footage, and combined with Joni's photographs, I believe that the mystery has been now solved. we have U-745 here, right below us.
The team members believe they have successfully located and identified 2 Nazi U-boats in the last minefield laid by Louhi, a boat many believe was sunk by a Finnish mine, maybe even one of its own.
We had been diving these submarines, and we knew that, okay, these submarines went down because they hit mines laid down by Louhi, and it's essential for the whole story to know where Louhi is.
Louhi was one of the first ships of the Finnish Navy, and by 1945, it was showing signs of age.
It was old ship, old design, it was leaking, and it was rolling badly if there was bad weather, and it was not very seaworthy.
On January 12, 1945, Louhi completed its mining mission and is returning to Hanko.
And suddenly, there was an explosion under Louhi's keel, somewhere in the right side and stern. Many people heard some kind of knock, and then there was a huge explosion in the aft. Most likely it was a mine.
When I was a younger diver, of course, people would talk about the Louhi, which was the last ship that Finnish Navy lost in the war.
I think it is a matter of pride, and it was a matter of feeling really bad that if it was fact that Louhi was indeed sunk by our own mines.
And the whole thing was a little bit of an embarrassment.
There are stories here and there, but no one really had kind of collected all the information together and located the wreck and done investigations out there and seen what could be the most probable cause of the sinking.
Members of Badavana set out to find the wreck of Louhi. After all, it's part of their heritage.
Louhi is an interesting wreck because location of Louhi is marked in the sea charts. It's been there for ages, but there's no ship wreck in that spot. This whole story was so remarkable that we thought, okay, it's time to solve this mystery. So we applied for a permit to do a seabed search in the location where we thought the Louhi would have sunk.
What we're about to do here is we're going to dive a wreck which superficially would look like a very insignificant warship. It's actually the unsung hero of the submarine warfare here in the Baltic Sea.
Using side-scan sonar, they meticulously searched the Louhi's route from the minefield back towards the port of Hanko.
Something starts to show up in a sonar, and looking at it, okay, it's a ship, and all bits and pieces were falling together, and I had to hold my breath because I just wanted to yell, guys, hey, come down.
After a call to the Navy, permission is granted for an exploratory dive.
Is it okay? Okay, I'm out of here. We came to the bridge of Louhi and saw the deck cannon out there, and it was quite obvious that, okay, this is it. This can't be anything else. There's nothing like this missing in this area. It was pristine water, and amazing sight, seeing the whole deck and deck gun and bow and everything, and the bridge, everything at once out there. We swam around the boat and saw the bow, and there's minesweeping equipment, and everything was just like expecting it to be like. We noticed that the stern is very badly damaged. The deck has just blown up out there. A lot of bent metal and details are missing. Must have been just tremendous explosion under the keel, and this missing of decking supports.
It's actually much more probable that it was instead torpedo.
There might have been a torpedo which exploded very close to the hull of Louhi, about 7-8 meters towards the front from the propellers. That's where the machine room is, and that's where the strongest sounds are generated from. That's the location where it actually did hit.
there is still more evidence to support their theory. While researching, the team came across German communication records.
What was found in the archives, the journals and the reports to the High Command, in which was reported that U-370 actually torpedoed Lohi. They fired a torpedo at a Finnish mine-laying ship, 1147. The Lohi log and the survivors tell that there was an explosion on board Lohi in 1250. So there's over an hour difference. But then, of course, one has to take into account that a German ship has its log in German time. Germany is a little more to the west, so it's 1 hour behind the Finnish time. And this explains the difference. So it was like 3 minutes, which is actually the typical running time for a torpedo.
The new information from Badavana appears to set the record straight. The Lohi was not sunk by a Finnish mine, but rather hit by a German torpedo. And the minefield she laid that day was responsible for the sinking of 2 technically superior U-boats. She was far from an embarrassment.
Story altogether, this old ship, which is technically outdated, but still kind of, it was the first ship of the independent Finnish Navy. This old steamship gets hit by an acoustic torpedo, the state-of-the-art weapon of that time, shot by a German U-boat, again, state-of-the-art war machine. And there's this battle of old steamer against Grey Wolf. Although she sank, Lohi also was able to sink 2 German U-boats, and the operation was successful.
As you look at those submarines or other wrecks on the seabed, they're dark and lonely places. There are no bad guys or good guys anymore. Just young men who went out in the prime of their life to serve their country. They died in the process. So I think it's only just that the truth be told and their story be told to everybody. It's only the wreck that tells the last line of the story. It cracks the fog of war. Now we know where your boys are buried. They're there. You can pay your respects and you can put an end to the story. There's an old Russian proverb that says something like, the war is not over until the last of the fallen soldiers has been buried. And in a way, I feel that this is what we're doing.